There perhaps isn't a more ubiquitous subject in art than the human body. From graphite to watercolor to oil, Courtney Rankin presents the figure in many forms of media. She is this week's Artist Spotlight.
I really got into art when I was about in 4th or 6th grade. I had my first art class, and we were supposed to recreate something from Van Gogh, and he ended up becoming my favorite artist just because that was the first thing I ever did, and ever since then it stuck with me. And then my older sister was always into art, and she regretted not going for art in college, so it led me to be inspired by her and inspired by her artwork that she did, and the fact that she could never follow through with what she wanted to do. You can really tell a person's, I would say, their personality by their face, because if they're smiling a lot, they're usually a good-hearted person, but if they're always scowling, you can really tell their personality by their face. My favorite medium is paint, specifically oil paint, because it can blend very well. And when I was growing up, it was always oil paint was the one that we were taught was hardest to work with, so it was the one that I used to challenge myself the most, and it became one of my favorites. The biggest challenge for me would have to be probably watercolor, which is odd because that was my sister's favorite medium. And mainly because watercolor is so much different than oil. Watercolor is more light and more, it's watery. And oil is pretty thick. So I always tend to treat it like oil and add more layers than what should be there. So if you ever see me watercolor, it doesn't really look like water. It looks more like oil. One of my biggest things that I've taken away is that no matter what you do, there's always room to improve. And no matter how well you think you're pushing yourself, there's always room to push yourself further, but not go over your limit. I'm hopefully going to go back to school, because although I love art, I also love other things like animals, and I'm hoping to go and get a degree in maybe like veterinary or something like that, and then use my skills as an artist for like maybe therapy, or maybe as art as like a second job or something like that, along the lines of, I was hoping to maybe go into illustration for like children's books or something like that, along those lines, as well as be maybe a vet tech or something like that. Mixing it up. You never limit your options, because everything's an opportunity.
Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. If you would like to see more of our content, click here or consider subscribing.